Could I please welcome Yang Berbahagia Senator Datuk Paul Lau, Minister at the Prime Minister's Department, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Good morning. Yang Mulia Tunku, Your Excellency Victoria Tridel, High Commissioner of United Kingdom, Malaysia. Firstly, I want to thank IDS for having a brilliant idea to hold such a conference or seminar on a very difficult subject which many people in government don't feel comfortable with. And of course, in a society that wants to be progressive and a society that wants to do things right, at some time or other, we have to deal with the issue of accountability, good governance, transparency, and including a degree of openness as we move along. First thing I would like to say that I'm deeply encouraged by the Coalition of Government's Integrity, Accountability and Transparency, or GET, taking this initiative to pursue dialogues between government, civil society, and businesses on open data. This illustrates the commitment from the civil society to be part of the Open Data and Open Government Global Initiative, or OGP, which marks a new horizon towards a collaborative effort between government, civil society, and business. And I'm hopeful that this effort will come into fruition. When we talk about openness, the experience that I have, and I believe in openness and accountability, because if you look at the whole ambit of governance, it requires the strengthening of the institution, the processes, the laws as well, and its enforcement, and also the issue of openness and governance and the availability of information to the public. The first thing that I did with openness was, you probably know of the Auditor's General Report. We have it 3 times a year, and I pushed very hard. First thing, of course, when I came in, already the Cabinet has decided bravely that the Auditor's General Report can be presented 3 times a year instead of 1 time a year. And this is unusual because no country in the world has ever presented an audit report 3 times a year. The best is 1 time a year. But the reason why we wanted to present 3 times a year, purely because there are too many things to discuss, and we want the public to be able to digest the findings of the auditor's report and to hold the government accountable. So we push for 3 times a year, and we are already running it for about 2 years. And the next step that we took to be much more open is we want the findings of the auditor's report to be discussed with the media in a town hall meeting. So, for the first time, we have the permanent secretary or the secretary general of each ministry, which is supposed to be CEO, to answer every findings that is in the auditor's report to the media and to be questioned by them. And you know the town hall meeting we have, and through that, believe me, I believe the administration itself has become better, because the Secretary General, who has never faced the public or the press, now has to be more careful and they begin to be more hands-on. But the downside of it is is that when we expose too much, the perception in the public is that everything is just not right. When I spoke to my colleague in other countries about auditors' report being presented, they say that they present it only once a year, and the report that they present is a summary, not a detail of every transaction. In our case, it's a detail of every transaction. And so what they say to us, he says, well, you practice openness. I say, we practice openness. Then he says, it's all right to expose openness. Nakedness is good. But he says, what you are doing is you're promoting pornography. What I say mean pornography means every dirt, everything, you know. And the issue is whether society itself is able to digest those, and whether those issues that is being highlighted, especially, is not politicized. And of course, the government welcome constructive criticism. So this is my first experience in the area of open government. So the issue is how much open, you know, and how much can the society accept that openness in a responsible manner, without the spinning, without the accusation, and without the exaggeration. This is the key point that the government will ask, you know. I'm all for openness, but what is the comfort level that we need to do to allow this openness? I know, coming from civil society, you'll say, don't you trust us? Don't you trust us? You know, we can take the data, you know, and intelligently comment on it. Right? So, but time will tell. So therefore, the issue of openness also has to do, I believe, in the status of development. And if I can use the word not in a insulting sense, that the maturity of the society to handle that type of information in a responsible manner, then it's meaningful. But if data is given to you and all the society does is practice condemnation, then as a government, we have a problem. We have a problem. All right? So this is my take at the moment. And in terms of dealing with corruption, dealing with governance and integrity, I have a continuum from the left and to the right. Of course, the left will be something that I'm prepared to take on and do immediately, because these are the changes that are necessary. For example, strengthening the institution, strengthening the law, strengthening the processes, and make it more transparent. But open data and freedom of information is on the other right side of the continuum. That's why I believe that open data and freedom of information, while it is good, but we need to take a process to set up the infrastructure and also the system and the cultural change that is necessary to proceed ahead. When we have open data, I believe is good, open data, because the information that you have, especially for research and for decision making, will help you to make the right decision. Because you need to understand the raw data and what comes out of it. While I speak of open data, within the government itself, we have problem with open data, because the civil service as such has been built according to silos. As a minister today, I try to integrate, and I find that the solution that I need to do, I need to get the data from, say, 5 or 6 agencies. For example, today I'm dealing with the issue of foreign workers system, which many has complained, which needs a great deal of change. And myself as a minister was given the task to revamp the whole foreign workers system. And I've been at it for almost 1 year. And when my team went in to look at it, I have to deal with 14 agencies. So my issue is, if I were to make an intelligent decision and proposal, I need the data from the 14 agencies. And can you imagine trying to get 14 agencies to come in, even within the civil service, to support you with the information, you know? And fortunately, for the first time, because myself as a minister with this special portfolio, I was able to speak to the minister that in charge of this 14 agency and tell them to take ownership of this and come alongside with me. And it's only then that the data now is available to me. But in the past, if there is no minister like myself who is able to integrate all these 14 agencies, what will happen? No civil servants is going to find all this information. All right, so the big issue also in the government side, the open data should be available to the government itself. And the second problem within government, why open data sometimes is not available, because there are systems, for some reasons, that are not owned by government. Because, for example, they may subcontract out to private sector for processing. So this is the other problem. So you have a data system that is highly fragmented. And so, as a minister, I would like to see some of this data that are privately owned but subcontracted by government. We want them to be put into government control as a single window system, single data system. And this is going to be a challenge that we have to make, all right? So I'm posing to you this a challenge. And the third challenge we will have to make is the area, while the data is there, what is the level of integrity of the data? That means, how accurate are they? This is something that we need to do. We need to do, because no point giving you data when it is not accurate, so to speak. So there again, I have to assure that the data that is available are accurate. That means it really reflects what is supposed to reflect. And that has to do with governance. That has to do with compliance issue. That people who put in the data should put in the data as it is. So this is something that I have asked, for example, even the audit side, to be able to test those data in terms of its accuracy. So while I'm saying this to you, but doesn't mean that we are not moving towards more openness and accountability. I believe that open data is a relatively new concept for many countries, including for ourselves. And I would say that I'm glad that the Ministry of Multimedia and Communication, MDAC, and even MAMPU, in a way, partner with the civil society to begin to move towards this open data to develop the national big data framework. It's a journey, and certainly I hope that this big data revolution can allow businesses or even those in the academics to make more informed decisions regarding the service products provided to customers as well, and also to be able to assess market trends and opportunity, and improving the efficiency of business as well, and of course other projects that's undertaken by the civil society. So finally, I just want to thank all of you this morning and giving me the opportunity. The government we will look at it, the proposal of open data, and we may need, as I can see, in order to coordinate the various agencies who has ownership of the data, to form maybe an interest group, if I can say, within government, and there must be champion within government to take on and to begin to roll out these issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you very much, and I hope this meeting, this seminar here, will be able to give us some pointers as well. We are open to receive your suggestions and recommendations. Thank you very much. Thank you.